Hey, what's up everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be kind of talking about how I win more solo games in Fortnite. Now, I'm going to be breaking this down into several parts, kind of make it easier, kind of break it down way easier than usual, and not going to just like give you like, oh yeah, I do this, I do that. So starting off, for you guys, what do you need to go? What do you need to know before entering a Fortnite match? Now, if you want to know really, how to win and stuff, and if you want to win, you need to know how to build. I mean, like, building is probably the most important thing in Fortnite, and if you were able to master it, I'm telling you, you can play insane and do insane. I'm not talking about how you know how to build one wall and then a couple seconds later you could build a stair. I'm talking more about how you can build fast, have control, and know what you're doing, know what you're building at all times. And you might see some in this gameplay, but as a further ado, that's kind of the first thing you need to know is how to build. Now, if you don't really know how to build, you should probably, land Wailing Woods, land somewhere, and learn how to build from there. Second thing you want to know is kind of like, what is your play style? Like how are you doing? How are you, able to play? And what's your pros and cons? Like, are you good at building? Are you good at one area? Where are you best at landing? Are you landing at places like Salty and doing amazing there, or are you landing at Fatal and doing amazing there? Should you, or how should you really do that? And you should definitely land there more. If you're wanting to win more solos and you know an area that you're really good at, you should probably learn how to land into those places, where you are core at. Where's your best place you can land? The place that you know like the back of your hand, if you know what I mean. So definitely, you should try that. Definitely do that. It will work. Secondly, I am going to be talking about, where are you landing? Where are you landing? Are you landing in places like Motel? Are you landing in places like Junk Junction where there's nobody there? And this is kind of where it comes in. Are you practicing? You're not going to really get better if you're not practicing. If you're not going to places like, I know, it may be like, are you crazy? If you're not going to places like Tilted, Retail, that's places I go. I have a lot of fun there, but we're not really looking at fun. We're kind of looking at like practice. You're not going to get good at 1v1s if you're never in them. You know what I mean? So if you want to get better, you got to go to these high populated places and learn how to fight, how to gunfights. You're not going to win if you're going for places and waiting till like the top two to actually fight, because you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know anything because you have no experience. You need to know how to build. You need to know how to fight people. You need to know how to do everything. You know what I mean? So really, it kind of comes down to all of that. You can't land at these low populated places and automatically expect to freaking, win, a lot. You know what I mean? You kind of picking up what I'm putting down, so definitely need to practice. You need to practice, because if you're not practicing, I know going for kills may result in your death, but you will eventually learn how to, you'll eventually learn how to fight better, and especially once you learn how to get good at building and stuff, you will do really good in Fortnite. So getting into what you probably came here for is, how am I winning more wins? I'm getting so many wins. What am I doing? Where am I going? So we're going to start off with beginning game. Beginning game is probably, one of the biggest choices I have, for Fortnite. Like, where am I going to land? Where am I going to do? It always depends. If I'm going for a high kill game, if I'm going for that, 18 kill game, or beat my record, get 19, I'll probably land Tilted, Retail, anywhere else there. But we're going to be kind of looking at where I'm landing if I just want a smooth game. I'm landing at places where I'm either going to get warmed up, which is like Fatal Fields, like the farmlands, you know what I mean? Or I'm landing at places like Salty, good places, center on a map. You don't have to worry about getting completely demolished by the circle. Pleasant's also a good one. Not too many people there, so you can have a nice smooth game and get a good amount of loot. Definitely Pleasant Park, the farms, salty, all those types of places, or they're kind of in the center of the map, they're also good. Kind of, places kind of far out is also the factories near Flush. That's also a really good place to go. Now, once I kind of landed, what am I doing in mid-game? Well, in mid-game, I am usually, either if I'm going for a high kill game, looking for people, but you're probably not here for that. I'm making sure that I'm always stocked up on materials, always having enough, for gunfights, and I'm not like looting every single spot. I'm making sure the circle's not too far. I'm making sure a lot happening. A lot is going good for me, and I'm doing good. I have good health. I'm not pushing when I don't need to. Say I don't have a lot of health and I get a gunfight. I don't push if I don't need to. I'm not going to push with 20 health. You know what I mean? And that kind of comes into another thing. Play smart. Especially mid game. You want to play smart. You want to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You want to know how much health you're having and how well you're doing on materials and overall kind of just health, materials, and weapons. Secondly, coming in for middle game to end game. So middle game, kind of overall, I'm just making sure I have a good amount of stuff, making sure I'm near the circle, making sure I have enough materials, and I'm definitely playing smart. Always checking behind me. That's a good one too. You never know where your opponents could be. They can be sneaking up on you. Especially when I'm healing, I'm always building around me. I'm just doing what I need to do to survive. Now, you might hear a lot of tips, build bases, cooped up, keep it low, but I'm not really like that. But I always like to get a general area of where, enemies would be. You know what I mean? I'm always kind of like, okay, enemies might be here. If there's fighting over there, I'm probably going to go over there and kind of clean up at it. Make sure there's no one behind me and all that sort of things. But if you're playing more of a passive way, then you might want to be kind of maybe avoid that. Maybe go to the center of the circle. For middle/end game, kind of the same thing, where there's like 15 people left. I'm not really a person to build bases. Now, I always recommend not building a base because people always know where exactly you are. You always want to be that kind of person who's the element of surprise. You don't want everybody to know exactly where you are. Obviously, building a base, you can see a lot of people. You can locate a lot of people, but you can also have RPGs coming at you. You can always have 7 people aiming you with a sniper waiting for you to peek that little head. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of a person who likes to push bases, but I definitely avoid building bases, and especially because you can have any good player come up to you and probably demolish you. If you're in a base and you're focused on a different person, you could always have people rush you, and that's usually what I do. I wait for the person in the base to have engagement while I'm engaging with somebody else. You know what I mean? So I usually catch them by surprise. That's always a good thing too, catching people by surprise. But let's get into endgame. So endgame, it always kind of depends on the circle. The circle is a big part of endgame because you could have 3 mountains or you could have some flat terrain. Now, when it's, say you can have some mountains or there's one really big mountain, that's kind of when I'd be very, cautious of people above me, and I may hold up in an area and, stand my ground for a little bit, or I try to get that height advantage, you know what I mean? So, standing my ground really kind of, either, whether it's building some sort of base, looking for people in a way, not camping, but I'm definitely holding my position, because if you're running around a area with like 3 mountains, it's not going to help out if you're just running around and stuff, you know what I mean? Because people can be up above you, they could be on our mountain shooting at you, and it could be a mess, especially like near Loot Lake and all that. That's kind of like you can't really run around and kill everybody, you know what I mean? So usually in endgame, you kind of maybe want to take it slower if you're looking for wins. Maybe you want to base up. Always depends on the circle. But you always do never want to be messed up by the circle. Let's say you are in a base. Say you decide, hey, I'm going to build a base. You probably, and say you don't get a circle. Do not wait until the last minute to actually get out of there, because the reason what bad can happen is you could be fired. You could not be fired. You could be, under pressure, and you could be taking so much fire from scars and RPGs while the zone is pushing. So if I don't have the zone, I usually like to push out of there pretty early, so I don't have to wait until the zone may take damage from me, and then I'm getting fired on by scars. It's not gonna help at all. So yeah, that's kind of my tips for everywhere. But I'm gonna kind of get into like a little bit of like some low key tips that might help you. So I definitely build in every gunfight. Do not underestimate your opponent ever. You see me probably in every gunfight in this gameplay. I'm building. You probably never saw me not build in a gunfight, especially when they first shoot at me. I'm always building. I'm building fast. I'm making sure I'm not messing up. Especially if you're on console, you might want to run some Builder Pro. That'll help. And just practice your building. Building is everything in this game. You don't want to be outbuilt by some people, because that can really mess you up. Always heal with cover. Just make sure you know your surroundings. Make sure you know the circle. And you just gotta, do as you play. Any player who plays this game and actually, cares to, get good, you'll get good. If you put in the time, if you put in the effort, if you know what to do, then you'll get a lot of solo wins. I'm getting about 3 a day so far for the past month, and that's been really good. So yeah, just play smart. As you can see in the gameplay, I see this guy on the hill. I'm not hiding behind the cabin. I'm building, trying to get that shot off. I'm not very good with the sniper. I gotta get better at that. But I'm ramp rushing. I'm taking my time. You know what I mean? I'm not panicking when I'm building. Making sure I'm doing good here. And this guy luckily gets in another fight. So that's the thing. And I kind of push up to him. You know what I mean? So I make sure I'm not underestimating where his RPG's gonna hit. And I'm just playing smart overall. And yeah, if you guys want any more tips, just let me know. I'll make a video on it. Yeah. See you guys later. Oh yeah, get the high ground too. That's also a good one. See you guys later.